Today marks a month for Dane County's mask mandate. We'll take a look at how the numbers have changed since it went into effect.
Plus, a family saying goodbye this morning after an 11-year-old was shot. Their call for an end to the violence.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for joining us. Today marks 1 month since Dane County's mask requirement first took effect.
So we want to start off this half hour with a look at how things have changed since then. In that time, the county went from averaging 98 positive tests a day to just 50. Now that still puts us at a high activity level, although the number of cases has been effectively cut in half.
When the order first went into place in July, 50% of all county cases were found in young adults between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. This week, that age group makes up about 30% of all cases, though there has been a notable increase in the number of teenagers contracting the virus, double from 9 to 18%.
So the percentage of people testing positive in Dane County is also down pretty significantly too, 2/3 to be exact, from 5.5% the week the order took effect to just 1.9% today. That is well below the desired threshold of 3%.
The number of people being tested also up to an average of 2,400 a day from less than 1,800 a month ago. Some more good news this morning. Health officials counting less cases in the last 24 hours compared to earlier this week, about 500 yesterday. In total, there have been more than 62,000 cases in Wisconsin, and 14% of those cases are still active. Here's that important number, though. The percentage of positive new cases, that has also dropped since Tuesday. It's now below 5%.
A new poll from Axios and Ipsos reports half of Americans know someone who's tested positive for the virus. Back at the start of the pandemic in March, that number was only 4%. 25% of people say they know someone in their own community who's tested positive. 21% say they know someone who's died from it. That poll also says nearly 40% of people are still working from home. 2 out of 3 people say they are wearing masks all the time.
President Trump releasing 8 recommendations for reopening schools during the pandemic. That includes wearing masks whenever social distancing isn't possible. If students don't have a mask, the president says the federal government will be stepping in to help.
We will provide up to 125 million reusable masks to various school districts all around the country.
The president, with the support of Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, is also calling for, quote, the money to follow the student. According to DeVos, that means if parents take their children out of public schools, quote, the tax dollars meant to support their education should go with them.
6:02 right now, with many schools starting virtually this fall and extracurriculars being postponed or canceled, you might be worried about how your kids are going to be applying for college soon. We talked to a guidance counselor, Madison, about how the college application process has had to change due to the coronavirus pandemic. She says even if your kids can't play sports or get involved in those usual after-school activities this fall, there are other things they can do to improve their college resume. We'll share her advice coming up in our next half hour.
There are calls this morning for the government to step in and help with the shortage of personal protective equipment. Labor unions and other groups are petitioning for the government to take over the manufacturing and distribution of PPE. The petition calls for the use of the Defense Production Act, a wartime law that would mandate manufacturers prioritize government contracts. President Trump gave both HHS and the DHS the ability to invoke the act back in April.
30% of Americans who lost work during the pandemic are having trouble affording food and rent after that $600 enhanced unemployment benefit ended last month. That's according to the latest poll from Reuters and Ipsos. About 50% say that they will be under financial stress, but will still be able to meet some basic needs. An executive order by President Trump last weekend restored some of those enhanced benefits, giving now an extra $400 a week to those workers. But for many jobless Americans, it could be less. That's because states are required to pay a quarter of this payment, which is $100. There's concern among states that they won't be able to afford the extra payout to citizens. According to a report from USA Today, that would mean recipients would only get $300, which is half of what they had been getting.
The states that reopened the earliest after lockdowns this spring saw an economic boost, but it quickly faded as cases rose. The president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston said yesterday economies in states like Florida, Texas, and Arizona are now lagging behind those in the Northeast as consumers have become more cautious and businesses have shut back down.
6:04 right now on a Thursday morning. Hattie is here with a look at the forecast. Looks like there's some rain to the north, but shouldn't impact us here in southern Wisconsin.
You're right, Josh. These showers and thunderstorms are moving east, so they're not expected to make it into southern Wisconsin. There could be some gusty winds as well as some small hail with some of those thunderstorms north of Eau Claire. But for the rest of southern Wisconsin, we're likely to stay dry. There is some activity showing up on the map out to the west, a cluster of showers and thunderstorms east of Wichita. A few showers trying to organize themselves across the northern plains. They're all in response to a warm front that is going to move very slowly to the east over the next day or so. Not able to move too far because this large area of high pressure has parked itself over Michigan, and that really is going to be the dominating factor in our forecast through the rest of this work week. We have pretty quiet conditions expected. Take a look at southern Wisconsin a little bit more closely this morning. Here's how we're starting the day. 58 here in Madison, 56 in the Dells. In Juneau, you're at 58 as well. Lots of 60s on the map, though, to the south and west. Temperature of 64 in Mineral Point. Prairie du Chien is at 65 this morning. Take a look at your dew point numbers, and you'll notice that they're just a touch higher than they were yesterday. In fact, we have some areas with dew points in the 60s this morning. Madison sits with a dew point at 57. You'll likely start to notice that humidity just a little bit more this afternoon. Now, your future track forecast model is showing you partly sunny skies this morning. Some high-level cloudiness in the area filtering the sunshine early today, but a quick warm-up. Low 60s at 7 o'clock. By the time we hit the lunch hour, temperatures will be right around 80 degrees, and we're headed to highs in the mid-80s here in Madison. Here's a look at those highs. 84 in Madison, 81 in the Dells, 82 today in Platteville. Should be a pretty quiet evening as well. No rain expected here. In fact, our forecast is dry on Friday as well. I've trimmed back those weekend rain chances to just Saturday. It looks like a cold front will be moving through the area. That'll bring a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms, but it won't be an all-day rain.
I know we can't necessarily say fall is in the air, but I'm liking the trend of these temperatures. Just a little less humid and hot.
Yeah, maybe give the AC a break next week and open up the windows. Should feel nice.
We like it. Thank you, Hattie. 6:06 now. The FDA is telling folks to check their potatoes, fruits, and labels for a new produce recall. Fresh House is recalling its lemon, limes, Valencia oranges, and red potatoes due to a potential listeria contamination. The products were shipped to at least 6 states. Wisconsin is not currently listed as one of those affected states. So far, there have been no reported illnesses.
Well, here's some good news for shoppers. Grocery store prices overall are going down. That's right. The government says meat prices finally fell after soaring in May and June. Roast and steaks got 8.7% cheaper from June to July, and beef and veal prices went down 8.2%. Production slowed and prices soared earlier this year after several viral outbreaks at meat processing plants. The latest shortage here, Dr. Pepper. You may have a hard time finding any of those Dr. Pepper flavors in stores right now. The company told CNN that demand has increased consistently over the past 4 years. Dr. Pepper's parent company says it's working with local distributors in certain markets to meet the demand.
More support is coming to some new moms in our area. Public Health Madison and Dane County is bringing back its breastfeeding peer counseling program. Thanks to some new funding, it helps connect new and expecting moms in the WIC program to counselors. Those counselors are described as Google and a best friend combined. They answer all types of breastfeeding questions and also offer kind words and encouragement to new moms.
Maybe they're the first person in their family who's choosing to breastfeed their babies, and having someone who has been there before, who's breastfed, who knows the challenges and knows that it gets better after the first few weeks is critical.
It's been a couple of years since Public Health has been able to offer this program. Again, this specific one is for those enrolled in the WIC program or women interested in signing up for WIC.
6:08 right now. Let's take a look at your first warn traffic. If you're heading out the door this morning across Dane County, no crashes or major delays to speak of. A little bit more traffic volume on Park Street as you approach West Washington Avenue. Beltline looking good, though, this morning. There's your look at Rock County right now. No problems down there as well. If you're heading up from Rock County, going to take you around 25 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline, 9 minutes from Sun Prairie to downtown. That's your first warn traffic.
6:08 coming up. New research suggests that when a coronavirus vaccine does become available, it may not work for almost a third of Americans. We'll tell you why.
And pleas from the family of an 11-year-old who was shot in the head. Their call for the violence to end. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Whatever your water worry, Culligan Water can help. With over 40 filtration systems, including the world's best softener, no one filters more than Culligan Water. The only water that comes with a van. Contact Culligan, the local water experts.
Surgenian's 90-year history means you pay $90 for installation no matter how many rooms you carpet. Get carpet and pad, your furniture moved, and your old carpet recycled. Our competitors can't match it. Local, sustainable Surgenians.
Gobin Cars Grand Opening Sale, beautiful Middleton. 2017 Nissan Sentras, Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
That's right. Buy 2017 Nissan Sentras and Hyundai Elantras for only $79.95 or $129 per month.
Gobin Cars is selling 2018 Kia Fortes for only $89.95 or $149 per month.
Hurry in today and just ask for my dad, Don the Dealman Gobin.
Or my daughter, Crystal the Pistol Gobin.
You gotta go to Gobin, GobinCars.com.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Baca Enterprises is truly humbled and thankful to all of our employees, residents, families, and vendors for their patience and cooperation.
Our employees have gone above and beyond with sanitation efforts, altering their daily routines, all while spreading joy and happiness throughout our community.
As you look forward to the future, Beaver Dam Assisted Living will be here for you.
To provide a sense of security and to provide comfort by keeping you safe and healthy.
Together, we're moving forward to help you live life with confidence. Call today to schedule your tour.
At Pick and Save, we give you more ways to save on the fresh you love, like the Pick and Save app. It combines personalized coupons, fuel points, and weekly sales for the best deals. From meat to fruits and veggies to milk to whatever is in that. We've always given you more ways to save, and now those savings are even better than ever. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
When a student falls behind, a good teacher helps them catch up. A bad president would tie their hands, like Joe Biden would. Even with hundreds of public schools closed indefinitely, Biden opposes emergency parental choice grants, preventing parents from choosing options like private tutoring or charter schools if their public school is closed. A lost year is unacceptable, but 4 under Biden, that's a lost generation. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Welcome back at 6:12 on a Thursday morning. We continue to follow a story that has been developing all week long. The family of the 11-year-old caught in gunfire Tuesday says she'll be taken off life support later this morning. Anissa Scott is remembered by her loved ones as smart, happy, and a great basketball player. At a press conference last night, friends and family members gathered to remember Anissa and make a plea to the community.
And we need to end the violence, the gang violence. We have lost a precious child that we can never get back. It could have been anybody else's child. It happened to be ours.
The Boys and Girls Club is asking the community to support the fundraiser for the family, now at more than $42,000 this morning. We have a link to that included to this story on the Channel 3000 mobile app.
New developments from the 2014 Slender Man stabbing case in Waukesha County. One of the 2 girls convicted, Morgan Geyser, lost her latest court appeal. She was 12 at the time of the attack. Her attorney argued that case should have been in juvenile court, but the Court of Appeals ruled the attempted homicide case was correctly kept in adult court. Geyser pleaded guilty. She was convicted in a deal with prosecutors to avoid prison. She was found, though, not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. Now they plan on appealing to the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Nearly 36 current or former members of the Federal Health Advisory Committee say they have concerns for the security of the president's new coronavirus database. The group laid out their argument in a letter to the New York Times. In it, they write that hospital officials and data experts have found several issues in the system which could make the federal data unreliable. Those concerns come after an order last month from HHS Secretary Alex Azar to move the data from the CDC website to a central database in Washington. HHS, however, says the new system is working and helps them pinpoint where their response and resources are needed most.
Researchers at the University of California, San Francisco say they might have developed treatment that could kill COVID-19. The UCSF team says that they've created synthetic antibodies that neutralize the virus. They believe the antibodies could be available in the form of a nose spray or an inhaler in just a few months. The engineered molecules are based off of antibodies found in llamas and camels and can allegedly attach to deactivate proteins in the virus. The synthetic antibodies are still under review. Obesity could compromise the effectiveness of coronavirus vaccines, according to new research. Studies already show that popular vaccines for common illnesses like the flu and tetanus can be less effective in obese adults. And for that reason, scientists say that we should not expect COVID vaccines to be any different. An associate professor at the University of North Carolina says it'll likely be some time before the vaccine caters to the obese, and then that becomes available. Currently, nearly a third of Americans are considered obese.
New data suggests children in England might not be a major source of COVID-19 transmission. Researchers examined about 35,000 test results for kids under 16. They found the group only accounted for 1% of the confirmed cases of the virus during the first wave of the pandemic. Rumors, conspiracy theories, downright inaccurate information about COVID-19 are now spreading across 87 countries in 25 languages, and it's causing real harm. The study in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine noted some of these falsehoods, things like Bill Gates funded it to sell more vaccines, or that drinking bleach kills the virus. Some of these conspiracies have led to bodily injury. According to that study, 5,800 have been hospitalized, 60 went blind from drinking methanol.
Just about 6:16 this morning. Hattie's out on the patio. And are you still getting attacked by moths this hour, or was that just last half hour?
That was the last hour, Josh. Thank goodness that moth has found somewhere else to be right now, at least. We have a pretty nice start to the day, though. Take a look. The sun is up this morning. A little bit of cloud cover in the area, making for a beautiful sunrise as we look out the WIC TV sky camera to the east. It's 58 here in Madison. Winds are calm. Dew point is at 57, so it's a little higher than it has been the last couple of days. Take a look at our current temperatures. We have some 60s on the map. Temperatures in the mid-60s in southwestern Wisconsin, whereas Madison and the Dells and points to the east are generally in the 50s. Our dew points are going to climb a little bit today, so you may start to notice that humidity this afternoon. It's still going to be a warm day with lots of sunshine, a quick warm-up as well. By lunchtime today, temperatures will already be approaching 80 degrees. We'll top at 84 later on this afternoon. Take a look at that upper air weather pattern. We've been pretty warm here this week with temps in the 80s. That's because the jet stream is to our north. Anytime the jet stream is to our north, the warm air is allowed to climb into southern Wisconsin. Watch how this weather pattern changes, though, as we head into the first part of next week. You start to see that jet stream dip to the south across the central plains. That's going to allow some cooler Canadian air to spill southward as well. Likewise, temperatures are going to heat up in the west coast. So this map really closely shows what's going to happen over the next 6 to 10 days. That outlook from the Climate Prediction Center showing colder than normal temperatures expected through the midsection of the country, Wisconsin included, whereas it's going to be quite warm out to the west. So we are going to trend a little cooler as we head into next week.
Not going to complain about cooler weather. It's going to feel quite nice, Hattie.
That's true, yeah. It'll be in the 70s, so this is not a huge cool down for us, just a little bit.
Right on target. Thanks. The NBA's bubble's holding strong as the league prepares for the playoffs next week. No players have tested positive in the last week, and so that's a good trend here. None have tested positive since entering the bubble back in July. If a player does end up testing positive, he'll be isolated until he tests negative under rules established by the Players Association and the NBA. The 2020 NBA playoffs will begin Monday. The Bucks still have one more game before they move into the playoffs. Giannis Antetokounmpo is not going to be on the court this afternoon. Greek Freak facing a one-game suspension after that headbutt right there Tuesday night. Giannis still eligible for Game 1 of the team's first-round series against Orlando next week.
Duncan thinking pumpkin and skipping ahead to fall already.
No, too soon.
Right. The Massachusetts-based company is making its pumpkin-flavored coffee, espresso, and bakery treats available next week. This is the earliest Duncan has brought its fall-flavored products back to customers. The fall items will be available for a limited time. No word yet if Duncan plans on bringing its Christmas treats
Come on.
earlier than usual this year.
It sucks the fun out of it and the specialness of it when you drag it out for longer. You know, if it's a shorter time period when these products are available, the more special it becomes.
Make a summer drink. Come on, the dog days of summer. We're trying to enjoy it here.
Hattie nailed it on the head last hour. When it's 80 degrees outside,
can't be drinking pumpkin.
It just doesn't have the same effect.
Can't do it. Well, if we're going ahead and switching to pumpkin flavors, might as well get a head start on Halloween too.
Why not, right?
Exactly.
Let's just start celebrating 2021 already.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be okay with that.
Hear that?
You may have noticed Halloween-specific candies and packaging already available in some grocery stores. Hershey is putting out its trick-or-treating products earlier than usual. Candy makers fear the COVID-19 pandemic might negatively affect sales during what's typically their biggest season. A survey done for the Confectioners Association says fewer people plan to hand out candy on October 31st.
I don't know. What do you think, Josh? Are we going to have Halloween? We're going to have trick-or-treating this year?
I don't know. I think people are still going to do what they want to do. I think even with all of this, I know a lot of people are kind of not a fan of these things starting earlier and earlier. But hey, there's a market for it. If people are going to buy it, I understand why they're doing it. It even goes back to the fact of like Black Friday shopping, why stores started opening up on Thanksgiving. If people are going to do it, you know, the marketing is there, they might as well. Obviously, I'm all for like waiting until at least September 1st before I start thinking fall. But hey, if there's people that want to enjoy it, you know, be my guest, I guess.
Can't we hang on to summer for just a little bit longer?
I know. Hey, there's only like, I was thinking this yesterday as I was out by my pool. I'm like, I don't have a lot of time left by the pool before we're going to have to be indoors again for a few months.
Josh has got it all, though. He can sit next to his pool in the summer, drink his pumpkin spice latte, have some candy. You have all the seasons.
No pumpkin spice latte by the pool. That will wait until there's no more pool time.
Okay.
Josh has limits.
I have limits. All right, coming up on 621, guys. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to continue our back-to-school coverage as we help your teens prepare for higher ed this morning during this pandemic. What your kids can do right now to help set them up for the future.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
Great decision on your new windows. Buy one, get one won't last long.
Have you always been so passionate about windows?
Felco's buy one, get one free windows is totally rad. Felco's energy-efficient windows are a must in every home. So hurry, call now.
You could say that.
Buy one window, get one free, and get no interest for 1 year.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
Home is dancing because no one's watching. Home is a reason to disturb the peace. Home is laughter. Home is where heads come to rest. A place to let go and a place to find again. At Stanley Steamer, we love home, and we know that a clean home is a healthy home. We're ready when you are.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time, with no surprises. With the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proudly serving all of Dane County.
Nice sleep center, Bob. But what is a Bobopedic?
I could tell you, but I'd rather show you.
Oh, Bob's got a feel for your budget.
They deliver right to your door. With 30 years of sleep experience,
the best warranty, and so much more.
Bob's Bobopedic, from your head down to your feet, it feels like no mattress you felt before.
Wow!
Uh-oh.
Bob's Bobopedic.
The Ford Summer Sales Event is here with great offers on a huge selection, like 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. And get peace of mind with the Ford Promise. It's summer, so grab the family and head out. It's easier now during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 72 months, plus the peace of mind of the Ford Promise. See your local Ford dealer today.
Joe Biden says,
if you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
That means middle-class families, small businesses, and seniors pay higher taxes. It's the biggest tax increase in history.
Citizenship for 11 million undocumented folks.
That means 11 million illegal immigrants competing for American jobs, eligible for free health care, Social Security, and Medicare. America can't afford Joe Biden.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
All right, we want to thank Liz for sharing her morning with us today. A beautiful sunrise in Clinton, Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Looks gorgeous.
Peachy.
Pinks and yellows.
So colorful.
Purples.
Oh, loving it. Share your morning with us, folks. Post a picture on our social media pages. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. We'll show our favorites on the air.
So, guys, I was thinking about this next story here, and I grabbed my mug. Unfortunately, I have to hold it with my left hand, but I am a righty, and today is actually a good day to not be right.
Something I can get behind. That's because it's International Left-Handers Day, of which I am one. Scientists believe hand preference actually begins to develop before you're born. Only 10% of the population is left-handed. Several famous people are in that small percentage, though. That includes several presidents. 8 of them are southpaws, including George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Barack Obama. Historians say Ronald Reagan was also left-handed, but he was forced to switch as a child, which I think is actually rather common. My mom said in elementary school, the nuns would kind of rap on your knuckles to make you switch to your right hand.
Yeah. Did you ever have any problems as a lefty growing up?
I'm not very good at softball, so I would blame it.
You're going to blame it on being lefty.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can blame it on a lot of things too, but I'm just not good at sports.
You'd be grasping at straws.
You know, actually, now that I say that out loud, it's actually, you're supposed to be better at softball if you're left-handed, because when you bat, you can get like a running start from the right side of
you don't have to turn around.
Plate. And then also, if you're a first baser, you can reach farther with your left hand.
There you go.
Allegedly. But I think I'm getting that right. Wasn't good.
I don't know. Good morning to get outside, Hads.
I guess we're switching to weather right now. Here's our view from the WIC-TV Sky camera shot this morning. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s. Here's our pet walk forecast.
We'll be right back.
In Argyle.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Summer savings is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere and your supersized Sloan deal. Get 0% for 84 months when you pre-order your new John Deere 1025R. Get a John Deere now during summer savings.
Powered up with Sloan.
Dear Summer, how do I make the most of you? Do I kick back and relax? Or climb new mountains? I could go and get dirty. Or switch into new lanes. One thing's for sure, it's gonna be great. Can't wait. Toyota.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on many of your favorite Toyota models, like Corolla, Camry, Avalon, or Prius. Toyota.
You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. At the Magic Wash. At the Magic Wash. Whoa.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues building and bringing stability to families through homeownership. As area families experience hardships, Habitat provides a pathway to financial security and independence. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Come in today for Rubens' annual leather event. Rubens has received generous discounts from all our fine leather suppliers. Natuzzi, American Leather, and many other manufacturers have allowed Rubens to give you up to 10% off on all leather furniture. Rubens' downtown store and Westside store have many pieces that are available for immediate delivery. Remember, all interior design services are complimentary. Stop into either Rubens today for our leather event.
I love to equal the playing field. I love to help people and allow them to feel like they are powerful instead of powerless. We're with our clients every step of the way.
Gingras, Thompson & Walks.
Summer savings is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere and your supersized Sloan deal. Get 0% for 84 months when you pre-order your new John Deere 1025R. Get a John Deere now during summer savings.
Powered up with Sloan.
She will continue to live through all of us.
The family of an 11-year-old girl caught in the middle of gunfire is saying goodbye while pleading for an end to the violence.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. The 11-year-old girl shot in the head 2 days ago will be taken off of life support today.
Friends and family say this won't be the end of Anissa Scott's story. They say she will live on through her loved ones. They're asking others to remember her as well.
Anissa was an amazing basketball player, an amazing friend, and she will never be forgotten.
Anissa's family will end her life support treatment at 11:11 this morning. That timing is significant. Her parents chose it because she was shot on August 11th, and she was 11 years old. The shooting happened on East Washington Avenue just before noon in broad daylight, not far from Hawthorne Elementary School. Police still don't know who's responsible. What they do know is Anissa was not the person the shooter meant to hit. No arrests have been made.
Continuing coverage now, Madison police are expecting this investigation to be the 10th homicide of the year. At least 28 people have been shot in the city. In June alone, there were 29 shots fired incidents. In July, 44. The department has recorded at least 143 shots fired incident reports so far in 2020, an 88% increase from what it was at this time last year. 55 cars and homes have also been hit this year.
A new school safety committee will hold its first meeting in Madison today. The school board approved the new 24-person group last week. This comes after city council and the school board voted to remove school resource officers from the city's 4 high schools. This new committee will determine the next steps. It's made up of parents, police officers, school board members, and students. Meetings will be open to the public.
A pair of activists marching from Wisconsin to Washington, D.C. could now face charges. Frank Nitti Jr. and Tori Lowe are racial justice protesters from Milwaukee, and while marching in Indiana, state police arrested them. Police say it's because they were blocking traffic. Now you're taking a look at video of that intersection here posted on Twitter. Another participant was also arrested during the peaceful protest. The Journal-Sentinel reports police will recommend charges to a district attorney in Wisconsin. It'll be up to that district attorney whether to charge the 3. The group hoped to reach Washington, D.C. on August 28th, the day Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech back in 1963. All 3 are out of jail on bond this morning.
Milwaukee's former police chief now plans to retire less than a week after he was demoted. The Fire and Police Commission removed Alfonso Morales' chief title and made him a captain last week. His attorney says his office is waiting on documents from the FPC to explain that decision. Once they get those, they will decide whether to legally challenge it. The FPC gave Morales 11 directives to follow toward the end of his term as chief. The police department issued a report that questioned the legality of those directives.
Meantime, Milwaukee's acting police chief is now working to rebuild trust in the community. Michael Brunson is asking community members to email feedback about the department. Brunson plans to compile that feedback into a report. The department will also host speak-out sessions where the public can talk about issues in the community. Those are scheduled to start next month. Also, in the meantime, the FPC here is launching its search for Milwaukee's next police chief. The commission is doing a national and local search. They're looking for someone with leadership experience at a department in a big city. The FPC says the process will be a non-political one. It says it'll work with the mayor, Tom Barrett, and members of the Common Council. Applications will be accepted until September 11th.
Prosecutors in George Floyd's case want all 4 officers to be tried together. Minnesota's Attorney General says evidence against them is similar and argues a single trial would keep witnesses and family members from having to go through multiple trials. Derek Chauvin is facing 2nd and 3rd degree murder charges for kneeling on Floyd's neck back on May 25th. Thomas Lane, J. Alexander Kang, and To Tao are all charged with aiding and abetting. The officers are no longer on the Minneapolis police force. The next court hearing is scheduled for next month. In the months since Floyd's death, at least 59 Confederate symbols have been removed, relocated, or renamed across the country. That's according to a Southern Poverty Law Center report. 5 monuments have been moved, 14 symbols have been renamed, including 8 schools and a college. Only 16 Confederate monuments were affected in 2019. Nearly 1,800 Confederate symbols are still on public land, including 725 monuments.
6:34 right now. Take a look at this brand new video just into the newsroom this half hour of a brush fire in California. This is in the Angeles National Forest north of LA. That lake fire started around 3:45 yesterday. As of this morning, it spread to around 10,000 acres with 0% containment. Crews are still working to figure out what caused the fire this morning. So far, no injuries have been reported. Just about 6:35 right now on a Thursday morning back here in southern Wisconsin. Hattie's got the 3 things to know in the weather forecast, and really it's been just a spectacular week so far, Hads.
Yeah, kind of a rinse and repeat, Josh, for us. We haven't made too many changes to the forecast. Take a look at the 3 things that you need to know. The summery weather continues with warm temperatures right through the end of the week into the upcoming weekend. Lots of sunshine in our forecast, especially today and tomorrow. We do have that storm chance this weekend, but I've trimmed it back to just Saturday. It looks like that's when the cold front will move through the area. Visibility has been an issue the last couple of mornings, but not an issue this morning, thank goodness. No reports of fog, even in the river valleys. Now, on the radar map, it's quiet around here, but up to the north, some showers and thunderstorms have been rolling across the northern part of the state all night. Still some lightning strikes showing up on the radar maps. There may be some gusty winds or even some small hail with some of those thunderstorms. They are moving off to the east, though, so it is expected to stay dry here in southern Wisconsin. Our future track forecast model zoomed out shows you that any chances for rain today are going to stay west of the Mississippi River Valley. So a dry forecast on this Thursday and right even into Friday. Now on Friday, a cold front begins to organize itself and work its way across Minnesota. So then we'll start to see a line of showers and thunderstorms develop. That line will track across Wisconsin through the day on Saturday. So scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible, especially late morning into the afternoon. Once that front moves through, things should quiet down as we head into Sunday. Here's a look at our start this morning. The view from the Edgewater sky camera showing you partly sunny skies early this morning. Temperatures 58 at the airport. Winds are calm. Our dew point is in the upper 50s. Your future track temperatures are going to climb pretty quickly today. Here's a look at how those numbers will change as we head towards the lunch hour. Close to 80 degrees in most locations. Again, partly sunny skies expected through the afternoon. High temperatures should be in the mid-80s in many spots. 84 here in Madison, 84 as well in Watertown, 83 in Janesville, maybe just a touch cooler in the Dells with a high of 81 degrees. We'll then drop back to the 70s this evening. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Quite dry and even a little cooler as we head into next week. Overall, though, a pretty quiet weather pattern with just a couple of chances for rain out of the next 10 days.
All right, that looks like an excellent forecast, Patty. Time right now, 6:37. 125 million masks will go to school districts across the country. It's all part of President Trump's newest proposal. It would also send teams from the CDC to schools that need help reopening in person. President Trump wouldn't say when schools can expect those resources. Several schools in the South have already reopened, with cases spreading in some districts.
Schools in New Jersey can start the school year remotely, but only if they can prove they can't reopen in person. The governor says districts will have to prove it to the state. Politico reports some of the factors include not being able to socially distance, a lack of personal protective equipment, and poor ventilation. If a district does go online only, they have to assure the state they'll work to reopen in person and give a date for when that will happen.
Well, we are about an hour away now from the weekly jobs report. Millions filing for unemployment, millions of older workers are being forced into early retirement. Women and people of color are more likely to be forced into this decision. Relab's new report shows that among older people of color, nearly 12% of women and more than 10% of men have left the labor force since March. That is compared to 7.5% of white women and 5% of white men. The pandemic is also forcing layoffs in sectors like healthcare, where workforces tend to be older and female. The report estimates 4 million people could be forced to retire by December.
6:38 right now. Let's take a look at your first warn traffic on a Thursday morning. If you're heading out across the Madison Metro right now, we've got no crashes or major incidents to report of. Downtown area actually looking pretty smooth right now. If you're hopping on the Beltline heading west from the interstate, looks like you're moving at posted speeds. Everything in the green. Let's take a live look outside as we go into the second to last day of the work week. Beautiful shot there from the Edgewater Skycam from downtown. The sun coming up on this Thursday. Hattie's going to talk about that sunshine and when we can expect some rain showers to return. But first, with many sports and extracurriculars canceled because of the pandemic, college admission standards will look different. What colleges are looking for from your kids when we come back.
When a student falls behind, a good teacher helps them catch up. A bad president would tie their hands, like Joe Biden would. Even with hundreds of public schools closed indefinitely, Biden opposes emergency parental choice grants, preventing parents from choosing options like private tutoring or charter schools if their public school is closed. A lost year is unacceptable, but 4 under Biden, that's a lost generation. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. So celebrate this Labor Day knowing you look your best with Plexiderm. Lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video that the viewers can watch while you and I talk. And you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. And I did this to my father. We were at home and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone. My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It feels great. Looks even better.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. Plexiderm, seriously, it fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing or just when you want to, like, get rid of the bags? And
yeah, it absolutely could be a daily thing. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
And this Labor Day is the best time to try Plexiderm for $14.95. See it work for yourself after your first application. Just visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
They put their blood, sweat, and tears into raising prized livestock. So News 3 Now's not letting this year's county fair cancellation spoil the show. 4-H kids step into the ring for our blue ribbon judges during Fair Week on the next Live at 4.
Madison Magazine is recognizing amazing nurses for their courage and commitment during the COVID-19 pandemic. Go to madisonmagazine.com and nominate a nurse for going above and beyond the call of duty. Deadline for submissions is August 17.
So we are now less than 3 weeks away from the first day of classes at UW. But across the country, thousands of students are already heading back to college for in-person classes this week.
That includes the University of Pittsburgh, which is having students come in phases to stay safe. Once students are there, they're asked to isolate for 7 days. This after they were told to quarantine for a week before arriving, too. Hundreds will also be taking COVID tests daily.
As some students officially head back to campus, many are once again looking at virtual education this fall. So we wanted to help your teen prepare and apply for college during this unprecedented time. I talked to a local high school counselor about what your kids can do right now to set them up for a future they want while stuck at home.
A lot of what we're hearing from colleges is very different from college to college.
MMSD school counselor Kristen Kluge says it's best to go right to your university with questions regarding admission and scholarships. Colleges, like everything else right now, are having to adapt and change during the pandemic with so many limitations in place. As your high schooler prepares for college, Kluge says you should encourage your child to do something more rather than just going through the motions of online learning.
They may not be able to play their sport this fall or participate in an extracurricular that they have in the past. But we have seen things kind of pop up that are new that students can do that can impact their community.
Kluge says that can be anything from volunteering for a supply or food drive, creating virtual story times for younger students, or sewing masks. She says it's all about developing a new skill or learning something new and making that known during your interviews or on your college applications.
So there really are a lot of things that students can do to say, hey, during this time when things were really stressful and when things were really uncertain, I wanted to develop this new skill.
Kluge also wants students to remember how accessible school counselors are even during this time. They can be your first resource as you look for assistance, not in just college and career, but academically and socially and emotionally.
There's no question too small. And if we don't have the answer, because a lot of times we won't have the answer with things changing so quickly, we can definitely help them find it and process it and navigate that process.
Academics are still very important. School counselors say it's crucial to stay engaged in online learning. As some universities look to waive ACT and SAT testing, there could be other requirements in order to gain acceptance. And I think the thing is here, guys, is, you know, colleges are going to be lenient in some ways, but in other ways, they're going to try to look for that unique quality that makes you stand out from everyone, because obviously we're all doing this right now.
And there's so many opportunities for that, to be creative right now and show schools, hey, even in the face of adversity, I can step up and do something.
Yeah, and make that known too. She said during your interviews or during those college essays to actually put out there what you did during this time that was really difficult, but you thrived at, because that's going to make you stand out.
I can't imagine some of the anxiety that these kids are feeling right now, as well as the parents. I mean, it's just unlike anything that we've experienced in you know, a couple of lifetimes here.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things, you know, you grow up, like, this is the way it is, this is how you prepare for college, and then all of a sudden, throw that out the window, right, you know, and it's like starting from scratch. But again, everyone's going through this, and I think that's why universities are trying to figure out too, and these things are changing every day. Like even the high school counselor, she said she might not have all the answers, but they will work to help you find that answer as best they can.
We are working to help parents find answers. All this month, we are continuing our back-to-school coverage tomorrow with a closer look at the mental health of your kids. A lot of parents have told us they're worried about their kids' mental well-being with all of this virtual learning and isolation too. So we're going to share how the Madison School District says they're working to address those concerns here.
And Hattie joins us now. Hattie, I know this story was something you were interested in, as your daughter is going to be a junior this year.
Yeah, sort of everything that we thought about college and prepping for college really is not true anymore. So it's nice to hear that there are options and ways for kids to sort of deal with this weird situation that we're all in.
Yeah, certainly so. All right, let's get a check out the forecast now. Hattie, really just a spectacular start out there.
It certainly is. We've had pretty nice weather so far this week, except for Monday, which is a little bit soggy in some parts. But otherwise, we have really quiet conditions this morning. Some cloud cover moving across the area this morning, but no rain from those clouds here in southern Wisconsin. All that rain is staying in the northern half of the state this morning. It will continue to track east, maybe a little bit southeast, but it'll stay out of our viewing area. Here's a look at what we have this morning temperature-wise. 50s and some 60s on the map. It actually is a little bit warmer out to the west with 63 this morning in Boscobel, 67 in La Crosse. Dew points are a touch higher today, and you may start to notice that humidity this afternoon as dew points creep into the low to mid 60s. Again, humidity levels are expected to increase just a little bit each day as we go through Saturday. Your day planner temperatures have highs still in the mid 80s though. Fast warm up this morning. Partly sunny skies with a high of 84 degrees.
All right, looking good. Thanks, Hattie. The morning sprint is coming up next.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back.
News 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
In a crisis, you're tested. As a nation, we've been tested before, and he has too. During the worst financial collapse in a generation, with our economy on the brink, Joe Biden led the Recovery Act that saved millions of jobs and restored the middle class. During the deadliest Ebola outbreak in history, he helped lead the response that beat back an epidemic and kept Americans safe. Now, we're we're being tested again. And Joe Biden knows the answer is not ignoring the crisis, bailing out big corporations, and dividing a nation in pain. It's working together to protect the workers who keep us strong, rebuild the middle class, pay people what they deserve, and give every American the path to a good-paying job, a quality education, and affordable health care. That's Joe Biden, tested and ready on day one.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know you have a choice. This is Jessica. She still has satellite TV. Well, I get tons of HD. Spectrum has tons of HD, and we love Spectrum's 24-hour local news channel. Plus, we get exclusive access to premium original content with Spectrum Originals. I don't have that.
Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-976-4499.
Spectrum Internet starts at 200 megabits with no data caps and a free modem.
We have to get internet from another company, and it isn't nearly as fast.
Spectrum Internet, $44.99 a month.
I'd switch, but I'm stuck in a contract and would have to pay up to $480 to cancel.
Spectrum has no contracts, and they'll pay up to $500 to help you out of yours.
That's it. I'm switching to Spectrum.
Get Spectrum TV and internet from $44.99 a month each. Call 833-976-4499.
Arby's 2 for $6 everyday value menu is here. Choose from a crispy chicken sandwich, a gyro, and a beef and cheddar. Any 2 for only $6 every day. Tell your friends, tell your family, yell it from the rooftops, baby. Call that guy who still owes you $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Experience handcrafted and hand-finished furniture by genuine Amish craftsmen at Wanakee Furniture ETC, featuring hardwood made in the USA home furnishings by Simply Amish and other great brands you can trust.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
Go to Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
It is 6:51, time for the morning sprint.
And we start with a promising update here. A slight downward trend in the percentage of positive cases of COVID-19 in Wisconsin. Less than 5% of yesterday's cases came back positive. The World Health Organization says communities doing enough testing if the positivity rate stays below 5% for 14 consecutive days. 14% of the state's 62,000 confirmed cases are still active.
A new sign of the coronavirus's impact on the U.S. 200,000 more people have died than usual since March. The New York Times reports this number is 60,000 higher than the number of deaths that have been directly linked to the virus. In Wisconsin, we saw our peak deaths at the end of March. The rate was 20% higher than normal.
Well, today marks 1 month since Dane County's mask requirement went into effect, and since then, the county went from averaging 98 positive tests a day to just 50. That's still considered a high activity level, though. We've also seen a noticeable increase in the number of teenagers getting the virus. That's up now to 18% from 9%. We'll have more on how testing changed since the order was put into place on channel3000.com.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway will host a discussion today to talk about how the city can move forward. She'll focus on keeping the community safe from COVID-19 and how the city is responding to the economic crisis. That starts at 1 this afternoon. We will be live streaming it on our Channel 3000 Facebook page.
Congressional Democrats are looking to reverse recent changes to the U.S. Postal Service. The proposal is called the Delivering for America Act. It's the latest action against recent cutbacks and fears over slower mail service ahead of the November election. The Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, recently announced a reorganization of top leaders. He also ended overtime.
Besides the presidential matchup this November, there are some important state races that could have a long-term impact on Wisconsin. Republicans currently hold majorities in both the Assembly and the Senate, but they don't have enough GOP votes for a veto-proof majority. To do that, they need to flip 3 seats in each of the chambers. If the GOP gets the supermajority, they can draw district maps however they want. Those would be in place for the next 10 years.
The Bucks want you to vote. The team will start sharing important voting information in the days leading up to the election. The team will tell fans how to register, how to vote absentee, and how to volunteer at the polls. The senior vice president for the organization says all of them they're passionate about voting and think that it'll still have a lasting impact on the community.
Giannis Antetokounmpo won't be playing in the Bucks' last regular season game today. It's because of the headbutt. The Greek freak got called for a charge, and moments later, right there, he got into it with Mo Wagner. Giannis will still be eligible for Game 1 of the team's first-round series against Orlando next week.
New research shows black women with natural hairstyles are less likely to get job interviews than white women or black women with straightened hair. Those hairstyles include curly afros, twists, or braids. The Duke study involved hundreds of participants of different races. The participants gave black women with natural hair lower scores for competence and professionalism and didn't recommend them for interviews as often. That's compared to black women with straightened hair and white women with straight or curly hair.
Nearly 20,000 of these 4-drawer chests are being recalled this morning. The Belmont model chests are under the Essential Home brand, sold by Kmart across the country between March of 2018 and April of 2020. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says they're unstable and they could fall over. No deaths or injuries have been reported so far.
Another recall here before you get in your car this morning. You want to make sure it's not one of these. Ford is recalling 2020 F-150 pickups. There's a battery issue that could cause the trucks to catch fire. They're also recalling more than 500,000 Ford Edges and Lincoln MKXs with potential brake problems. Some 2020 Lincoln Corsairs are also being recalled for coil spring issues that could cause road hazards.
800 gallons of spoiled milk. That's how much the Iowa DNR says is lost after a Hy-Vee store made a mistake. The company says an employee made an uninformed decision about how to get rid of expired milk from the recent storms that rolled through the area. The milk ended coming up out of storm drains. The DNR says it hasn't seen any dead fish yet. State workers are now considering putting up dams to stop or slow the flow of the contaminated water.
All right, you've got one more week. This is the last week for the Wisconsin State Fair drive-thrus. They'll be open today through the weekend with all the fair food favorites. So if you missed those cream puffs last week, you'll have one more chance to get them. Admission is free. The food does cost money. Gates open at 4 this afternoon and reopen at 11 tomorrow morning.
That's like the one fair food that you can get all over your face and you're just fine.
The one fair food, no other ones.
Okay, maybe all of them, but this one is super messy, but I don't even mind, and that's coming from me, folks. All right, 6:55, final look at traffic. If you're heading out this morning, things are looking good across Madison. A couple delays popping up on Park Street as you approach downtown. East Wash looking a little slow as you approach the Capitol as well. Beltline, though, if you're hopping on there, moving at posted speed so far this morning. Taking you around 4 minutes from the interstate to John Nolan Drive, and John Nolan Drive looking good this morning. That's your first one traffic.
And your first warn weather forecast. It is definitely a cool day once again across southern Wisconsin. We're looking at high temperatures in the mid-80s. Right now it's pretty close to 60 in most spots. Here's a look at your Metro Futurecast. Partly sunny skies today with a high of 84 degrees. Just a light southeast wind expected. That temperature trend going forward, even though it's going to be warm this weekend, does turn a little cooler next week.
Thank you, Hattie. Have a good one, folks.